For $70, they can get $2,000 in live capital within 35 days. Many firms are trying to find and nurture profitable traders that can manage risk in small accounts.
We are to this day the first and only firm based in France. That comes with all the French regulation, which is very strict on financial services. If you are accepted, then you go straight to live. So you skip the sim phase entirely and you go live with the same size as you went in the challenge. No activation fees. On all accounts, there is no activation fees, no matter the size category. The best discount I'd say are ranging between...
No activation fee, no buffer, no consistency rule, low payout minimums, and this merit account, which you'll find out in this interview. Hey, welcome back to the channel. I'm the Futures Fanatic, and I have never done a follow-up second interview in my Founders Interview series, but that's what I did because there have been so many changes at Phoenix Trader Funding. It has really become one of my favorite options, especially for newer traders. So I think you're really going to enjoy this interview. Please make sure you watch it all the way to the end. Last time I interviewed Leon, you guys were a little snarky. You thought that it wasn't going to be competitive and you didn't like the pricing and things like that. So they've come back absolutely swinging. One of the easiest paths to turn $70 into $2,000 of real capital in real live markets, not sim funded. So if that's something that's important to you, watch this interview. Also, they've added a very, very feature rich trade copier called Thor. So this is the future of trade copying. It really is. It's a platformless and Windows-based and cloud-based trade copier that can connect all types of prop firms together. So I think you're going to enjoy this interview. I know you're going to enjoy this interview. All the details and timestamps will be down below. So with no further ado, let's have our conversation with Leon at Phoenix Trader Funding. Hey, Leon, welcome back to the Futures Fanatic channel. You are our first returning guest in terms of CEO founders interviews for prop firms ever. Welcome to the Futures Fanatic channel.
Thanks a lot, Rod. Happy to be here.
Yes. All right. So I will have said in the introduction a little bit of context about this interview. So I just want to sort of jump right in because you have a number of exciting updates that you can provide both on the Phoenix side as well as a copier that you have gone and launched in the marketplace, which we can talk about as well. But first and foremost, I want to address the elephant in the room, which is when we interviewed the last time, some of the responses were not all that positive. And I don't think that was your fault. It was the fact that you launched in a responsible manner without hundreds of accounts offerings and without deep discounts because you wanted to be careful and you wanted to be cautious and you wanted to be prudent as a business owner. So maybe you give us a little update from what you've been up to since our first interview a little over a year ago and what's going on with Phoenix Trader Funding now.
Well, that's a good question. Since the interview we made, basically everything has changed. I don't remember a single thing that didn't change. The main point I'd say is that we incredibly eased the payout rules. Right now, for example, there is no consistency rule for the funded accounts, no, I would say, buffer on the classic accounts. So yeah, we really tried to change our rules. Plus, we did what I said in the first interview, which is a huge development of our ecosystem. So you mentioned it. That includes the trade copier. That also includes, software here and there to log your trades, analyze all of them. So that kind of thing really takes time. But on the other hand, it's been a year and a half now. We did work, and now this ecosystem is looking really great, I think.
Great. So innovations or changes to the payout policies to make payouts as stress-free or as easy as potentially possible, right? And then lots of software updates and changes to your offerings. So we'll get into that as well. This is the question I ask a lot, and I asked you in the first time. Now that you've been at this for a little while, how would you say that you're differentiating yourself or positioning yourself in the marketplace? I should point out you're French and you're in France. So, maybe that's a consideration or factor for European traders or people in that part of the world to be working with a firm that's there local with them. But how are you carving out your space in the marketplace? And how would you say that you're differentiating Phoenix based on everything you've developed and what you're seeing in the competitive landscape?
Well, first of all, you're right. We are French, and we are to this day the first and only firm based in France. So that comes with all the French regulation, which is very strict on financial services. So that's an extra perk for the traders, obviously. And that's also why we are still there after almost 2 years now. It's because we constructed something from the beginning in a protected country for the traders. Apart from that, I'd position Phoenix into the firm that provides easy and fast payouts. A good example I give for the payout speed is that with our Ascension accounts, which are the I don't want to sell, but on this specific type of account, you can go from the start of the challenge to the payout in 6 calendar days. So that's very fast. That's not a straight to funded account still, but you can go from the challenge to the payout in 6 days. Since
I just brought up the Ascension over here. So this is a rapid. So within 6 days, you can be funded and go and be qualified for a payout. Is that correct on these Ascension accounts?
That's correct. Yes, those are these are static drawdown accounts. So drawdown doesn't move.
Okay. But it's important to understand that that's something that can be provided within your programs, right? So for those that are not new to this game and are familiar with how to move through these programs successfully, they can very quickly with your firm get to a point in which they have a qualified evaluation. They did go through an evaluation and they can be in a payout stage, right, with these Ascensions. And maybe you could talk a little bit about the variety of programs that you offer from static, as well as I know that this merit account is something that we could talk about as well. So maybe start with the concept of these static accounts, and then we could talk a little bit about the merit account as well.
Yeah, so basically the Ascension accounts that you see right there was maybe the reason of the creation of Phoenix. It's really the core of the company. The point is that for advanced traders, and those accounts are for advanced traders, the point is that challenges are kind of lame and they don't want to do that. So we figured out that the best thing that we could offer to those advanced traders was a static account with a very, very large drawdown and a good payout speed. Even if I do agree with you, those who get payouts are not the ones that pass in 1 or 2 days, usually. So yeah, those accounts have been revamped 4 times since our last interview. So we did work a lot on them.
Okay. And then these are also accounts that have a direct path, as you can see here on the screen. The pre-funded is what you would call Sim Live, where you're qualifying for payouts. And then after 4 payouts, you're taken to the live funded tier. So maybe you could talk a little bit about, for those that are real sticklers for live funding and being in live markets. And Leon, we talked a little bit about this on our previous, not conversation, but when we spoke earlier this week. I think it's so funny that everyone initially was all into how quickly can you take me live. Live is the only way we're really connected as a broker and trader, or as a prop firm and trader. And I agree with that at some point. But then there's a lot of people that realize how profitable the sim game can be as well. So you have brokerage relationships. Maybe you could speak a little bit about what this path looks like to take someone from the challenge all the way through to a live funded account.
Yes, so this path here is the same for all the accounts but merit. So you get 4 payouts on an account, 4 consecutive payouts, and you are placed in live with a fixed amount of money. And the rules of those live accounts are similar to the challenge. And we do give you a lot of things when you are actually live funded. Example, live coaching. What we do is that we create a specific Discord channel for you. You have someone that really follows you. If you, for example, hit your daily stop loss, then you will have someone messaging you and say, what happened there? What did you do wrong? Why did you hit your stop loss, etc., etc. We also reserve the right to just temporarily disable the account. So that's not like we take the account away from you, but we just say, okay, you have lost X amount of money today or this week. That's way more than you lose usually. Maybe put your trades on hold for a while. So that's really a case-to-case account, both for the Ascension and the Classic. But my point is that it's really a personalized path. Overall, I'd say that.
Which I think is what many firms are finding. So just as a quick aside here, I want to let people know that, I'm now working with 10 or so futures firms that really do have live traders in markets that came through their programs. And they have to create structured content to tell you how that might work. But the truth of the matter is it ends up being very, very personalized throughout the entire process, right? Who's taken live or what have you. So Leon was just mentioning it there. It's after 4 that you move. Okay, so that's how they work. But the process once you actually get live should be very personalized, and that's the whole idea behind these prop firms. You can complain about them and think that they're just money grabs on the front end, and they don't care about actually finding good, meaningful traders. We're moving to this next step in this business, folks, where many firms are trying to find and nurture profitable traders that can manage risk in small accounts. And that's the other thing I want to point out. Hey there, just a quick interruption to whatever outstanding trading related content video you happen to be watching. Just want to let you know I have a website. It's tradersdevgroup.com, and on it there's a bunch of resources. And if you're here to learn a little bit more about active futures trading or prop programs, one of the things you might want to check out is the ebook. There will be, of course, a link to this right in the video down below. It's Prop Done Right, and if you're tired of struggling with evaluations and trying to figure out which prop firms you should go with and strategies that work for everything prop trading, it's Prop Done Right. Check out the ebook. You can get it in the description down below. All right, now back to whatever outstanding trading content you were watching. Thanks. At most places, your account's going to be small again when you start out, so you have to protect it. You have to look to then grow that and work with the firm. And when these firms can find traders that can manage risk, they're going to have the ability to give you more capital. Again, they can't lay that entirely out because it's going to vary based on trader. But that's what you should really look to focus on, is the types of firms that clearly have that path to live. And then when you get there, they have the resources necessary to keep you there, and maybe some stricter rules. That's to your benefit, right? So that's to your benefit. Let's talk a little bit then about I wanted to mention this account up here, which is pretty unique. It's called Merit. I'm not sure it's for everybody, but I haven't seen anything quite like this, which is essentially an account. First of all, it's pretty inexpensive, right? It's like $69, but maybe you could talk a little bit about these Merit accounts and how they're structured and how they're unique.
Yes, thank you. So they are indeed unique. I never seen anything like it, but the idea was just to remove arbitrary thresholds. Like in those accounts, I would say in this account, because there is only one single Merit account, you don't have profit goal, for example. And you can go all the way down to $0. So the only size that is currently available is $2,000. And if you take the Merit account, because you don't have any profit goal, the way the challenge actually stops is with time. So when you buy those accounts, you have 30 calendar days a month. And at the end of this month, you have an evaluation, I would call, but not like a challenge, just a human evaluating your performance on this account. So it's a complete sandbox. You are free to do whatever you want, provided, of course, you don't reach the 0 mark. And at the end of this calendar month, you are either accepted or denied. If you are accepted, then you go straight to live. So you skip the sim phase entirely and you go live with the same size as you went with in the challenge. So in a $2,000 challenge, you will be live with a $2,000 account. And if you are not live, you will get what is shown right now on the screen, which is the performance review. So that's a document of about 30 pages that lists real advices from a human about your trading, about what you did right, you did wrong, about what to upgrade immediately. And that's not like a template thing where you just get random advices. It's really tailored to what you did in the specific challenge, and that challenge was made to help the traders. This is, I think, one of the only challenge that you cannot lose from. Either you get live funded, either you get very valuable insights on what to upgrade.
Yeah, this is a very interesting program. What has been the uptake on it? Are people choosing this? And by the way, I'd highly recommend that my audience, I'll put links to, of course, everything that we talk about today in the description down below in the video that you're watching. Definitely go through this screen and look at these Merit accounts, because for $69, it's a one-time fee, so there's no risk of resetting, okay? There's essentially, as you can see here, no real rules. So you're looking to produce whatever kind of profit you can. I looked at it, and Leon, I told you the one change I would like to have, which is a daily drawdown, a soft daily drawdown, because as you know from here, anyone who watches my channel, Futures Fanatic, And you can check out, again, the description down below. If you just stumble across this video, we're talking about prop trading firms, the ability to learn how to trade the futures markets actively without risking your own capital. It's good if there is at least some guardrails on a soft basis, because that's how you generate risk-adjusted returns. But in this, they don't even have that. Okay, so you pay a one-time fee. The worst thing that happens is you don't qualify for the funding, and you receive a very, very, very detailed report about the nature of your trading and how you did or didn't perform well in that particular environment. The best case scenario is now you're directly for $69, right, Leon? If I'm not mistaken, if they quote unquote pass, right, for $70, they can get 2,000 in live capital within 35 days. Is that correct?
That's completely correct.
Yeah. I mean, and this is live capital in the real live markets. So talk about a return on your investment. It's pretty fantastic. So people might want to check that out. But to ask a question, so I'll stop blabbing here. Are people buying this thing? Are they finding value? Or are they understanding how valuable this could be for certain types of traders?
Yes, they are buying this. I would say in terms of quantity, about 35% of all accounts are merit accounts. So, free account types, about just above a third of all the accounts. So
that's fantastic.
They have quite a lot of success.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Okay. Well, if you do my uptake and add a soft daily risk limit of about 25% of the starting account balance, then I'll promote the heck out of these. But as they're structured, they're still very good. But do not lose a lot of your account on a daily basis. Impose a self-respected daily risk budget of not more than 25% of your starting account balance, and you will get through these programs properly. And this one and a variety of others. Okay, cool. Let's really quickly then talk about the other account, just since we are going through accounts. So we've talked about the Merit, we talked about the Ascension, which you said were more appropriate for more experienced traders. Tell me a little bit about the classic account, and then we can just get into some other learnings that's been happening at Phoenix.
Well, those classic accounts are actually maybe the accounts that changed the most since the last interview.
Okay.
Why? Because we completely revamped the purpose of them. The idea was that we figured out that at the end of the day, traders, a majority of them, we did like polls and everything, wants to get paid. The amount of the payout is actually less important than getting something in return for your work. So the way those accounts works is that you are way, way, way freer than before. For example, you can trade the news. I said that in the beginning, but you don't have any buffer zone when you get funded. You don't have a consistency rule when you get funded either. So and you have five trading days, to pay out. So you can also get repaid quickly, and the payout amount is $75 minimum. So it's way below than the average. The average is currently 500. Some firms offer 250 as the minimum payouts. Only 75, no buffer, no consistency, just trading allowed. And the purpose of those accounts is just to get payouts. After 4 payouts, you are moved to live, and after that, you are not restricted on the withdrawals, obviously. But it was way simplified, because before our big update or big revamp, you had to respect a lot more rules. It was 30% consistency, 10 days. It was a lot harder to get a payout.
Okay. Wow. So again, I'm not as up on everything going on in the prop world as I used to be. I know there's a lot of other content providers and YouTubers that are doing matrices of every single thing that's out there and all the payout rules and stuff. But I think this has got to be one of the most lenient and, like you said, fastest paths to breaking even or feeling that, I made some money and let's just break even on this whole thing. So if I understand though correctly, if someone literally did take 4 $75 payouts or $300, at that point they're also live. I mean, that's just a hard, fast rule. If they took four $75 payouts, so if they wanted the fastest path in these programs to a real live funded account, they could take 4 very small payouts. Is that correct?
That is correct. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that's pretty wild. And these are end of day accounts, correct? So they're end of day accounts.
Yes.
And everything that you just mentioned. So again, for my audience, look, there is a lot of choice out there, but Leon had reached out to me and said, look, there's been so many changes at Phoenix. We're doing things that are really carving out some differentiators. And I would agree. And please spend the time to look at the links down below, find out what's happening in terms of these programs and the best one for you. But between a classic account that has these types of payout rules and an Ascension account that has a clear path to a live account in a very structured manner, lots of neat things going on here. All right, I wanted to switch gears for just a moment and talk a little bit about your trade copier, which has become pretty popular pretty quickly because of all of the connections and things that you've created. So the program, the copier is called Thor. Can you tell us a little bit about Thor, how it came about, why you decided to make it its own commercial product, and what you're seeing in the marketplace in terms of how people are using it? That was a three-parter. Maybe just start with a little background on Thor and how you came to create it.
Yes, so Thor is actually a product that we used ourselves. That was developed just to copy Phoenix traders into live accounts, like every prop firm does. At the end of the day, the software that we only had an internal use for grew and grew and grew. And there is a point in time where we just figured out that, it's a real thing. It's big enough to be sellable and to, be actually attractive to people who would buy it. And so the development of the public version began. It took quite a lot of time, way more than it should have. I think close to 8 months of development. And so there it is. There is Thor. It's I would say it's a good product, but I'm the owner, so my opinion doesn't mean anything. But that was the reason for the creation, is basically that we are using the product ourselves all the time, and that's why we were able to integrate some very, very niche features that are not there for any other copiers. Here I'm thinking about an option we have to actually optimize your trades. So it works with the optimize button you have here in orange. I don't know if you have trades registered on this account, but if you did, Thor collects all the trades of the accounts, and what it does is that it's able, with an algo that we made, to figure out the best leverage, or at least the most adapted leverage for your follower accounts. So that's the kind of very, very niche feature, but also very useful ones. And Thor, features all of that in. And the part where I think the software is the most appealing is that, unlike all of the other copiers, we don't limit anything on the number of connections you can have, on the number of accounts you can copy, or on the number of machine you can install Thor into. So you get unlimited on all of those three points for a price that is really, really less expensive than the competition.
Yeah, so I'm going to end up doing a completely separate video where I do a review of Thor. Here's how I would describe it. Has a lot of practice, of promise, and is a super ambitious project, because as you can see here, you can connect to a lot of different firms, and you could have multiple connections, and you can trade across a variety of accounts. This is a product that a lot of traders have been looking for, but because it's so ambitious, I think people need to start a little slow with this and not connect a ton of different things and trade all, so that's what I'm finding. I probably got a little too aggressive early on, but I will be doing a review on this on a separate video. So make sure you like, subscribe, turn on the bell notifications to this video. You'll find out more about Thor and other copiers out in the marketplace and how Thor compares. And I'll tell you, it's a very, very exciting project that Leon and his team have put together here. I've been playing around with it for a couple of weeks and really digging what the capabilities are here, because as you can see, you can go across Top Step. And if you don't see your firm here, you can just simply connect to Rhythmic natively or connect to Tradevate natively. Leon, is this included with every Phoenix account, or do they have to buy it separately, or how does that work?
So that's a separate subscription. However, it is included with all the Ascension accounts. So the static account that I've mentioned, the core Phoenix, the Thor is included with those. If you don't go with Ascension accounts, like with Classic or Merit, it is a separate subscription.
Okay. And this is already very, very powerful as it is. Aside from bug fixes and sort of new releases and things, can you share anything about the roadmap? Is there anything you've learned now that it's out in the marketplace in terms of where you might be going with Thor, or any other neat products or services you might be working on?
Yes, sure. So the first thing, the most important things we learned is that there is a lot of traders that are not using Windows. Mac users, for example.
What? No. Let's just, all right. I have a whole short, real quick. I have a editing team now, Leon, that takes some of my comments from YouTube and stuff and turns them into little shorts, because everyone is now consuming content in vertical form on TikTok and Instagram. And my most popular video or short on TikTok is when I say real traders don't let traders trade on Macs. And people went crazy on me. Like, you're a real trader. All I meant to say, everybody, is that for the most part, trading has always been a Windows environment. That's all I'm saying. And also, if you're serious about really active trading or algo development or script development or copying truly to start, or active scalping or anything, you should be using a Windows or client-based application. Now, I know that, anyway, I'll just end it there. So anyway, you're finding that you're now going to have to probably create a cloud-based thing like TradeSync or whatever, but don't trade on Macs. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, no, you're completely right on the side, because that's also why we choose to make a Windows app in the first place. It's because I figured out that most traders actually used Windows. At least most traders that copy accounts used Windows. But I think the most requested feature, aside from bug fixes, of course, was to integrate Mac. So the first thing that is coming is a web app, not a Mac version, because. But a web app to content everyone. So this would be basically the exact same thing as this software, but on web. And the second thing that's coming, well, more integrations, of course. The goal is really to have Thor being the swift knife, the swift knife, of trade copiers. So currently it integrates futures. It also integrates CTrader, so you can do a bridge between futures and CFD. For example, you can currently connect, let's say, Trade-of-8 to FTMO, to an FTMO account, and do your copy on this basis. Of course, you have to be careful because CFD prices are a bit different from futures, but you can do that.
By the way, real quick, friends don't let friends trade CFDs either, but of course, very, very popular in Europe. This is really cool, everybody. So if you happen to be watching this and you're still one of the fools out there that's trading CFDs, no, I'm kidding, that hasn't found their way over to futures, and if you are creating content on how you're trading the US 30, which is a derivative of derivative, which is a non-cent feed, but if you're trading that, the US 30, Leon, if I understand correctly, you can now map between a US 30 trade and a MYM trade, or however you want to cross those types of trades in those true worlds. I think you're the only people that can do that, to my knowledge.
That's right. That's a feature we call Supercross in a continuation of cross trading between mini and micro. So with Supercross, you can do exactly what you said: map a certain symbol from the leader to another for the follower. So it works for futures too. Obviously, if you, for example, decide that when the leader buys NQ, you want to buy gold for whatever reason, you can just do that.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. That's super neat. I'm going to switch gears just a moment away from the Thor client, which I'll move out of the way because I realized we didn't cover this, and it comes up all the time when we're talking about environments, Windows or iOS or Mac or what have you, or web-based. Can you just tell us a little bit, or maybe I can go over here, which platforms are you supporting? Because I don't think you're supporting Ninja. We talked a little bit about, unfortunately, you don't have a rhythmic feed anymore, so TickBlaze is off the table for right now. What are the primary platforms and what are people choosing?
We have the full compatibility with the Volumetrica ecosystem. So that includes obviously the Volumetrica web platform, Volsys, Volbook, also Quantower, very, very popular. And the main platform I'd say is Atas. So Atas, that's now it has become a pretty well-known feature platforms. And with all of the accounts, no matter the category or the size, you get a free Atas license via an add-on. So this is a license that allows you to connect with Phoenix feeds. Well, brings you the Atas license for life as long as you have a Phoenix account.
Okay. But given what's going on with Thor, and I haven't thought this out, so maybe we can answer it in real time, would there be the ability for someone to trade their Phoenix accounts as being copied from some other environment that they connect via Thor?
Yes, obviously. That's also that's a pretty real use case.
Quick interruption to whatever outstanding trading related content video you happen to be watching. Just wanted to let you know that I have a YouTube channel. You're likely on it right now as you're watching this. And I stream also live my futures trading Tuesday through Thursday from noon to 1 o'clock. That's on the left coast. So that's the final hour of the New York session. And if you like, subscribe, and turn on the bell notifications, you'll be notified as to when I do those live streams. So you'll be notified each time. Only about 20% of people that watch YouTube videos subscribe. I'm going to try to give as much extra value to my subscribers as I possibly can. So you know the drill. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, turn on the bell notifications. I'll do my best to let you know when I'm providing additional trading education content here on YouTube. Thanks.
Basically, you can choose to have like, I don't know, an Apex account on Tradeovate or 3DeFi account on Tradeovate. Use it to plug in your Phoenix account with the XFeed, and it will work. It should work fairly well.
Right. Okay. So see the power of what's coming on. What's coming here is that with the power of Thor, you really can stitch together these environments to where you live and play in a platform or environment that you like. And if the firm potentially doesn't support, including Phoenix, what you're using, if you add Thor, you actually can have Phoenix accounts that you trade there and have those trades be initiated from another environment. And Leon, that's perfectly okay. And that's, there are some firms now that are saying you can't copy out of their environment, but you're okay with if trade signals came from via Thor from Apex or somewhere else. Is that correct? I mean, they're still being initiated by that trader. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Probably not the preference. The preference is, look, Volumetrica and Quant Tower, Addis, these are very, very good platforms. We're getting to the point now where there's probably just too many platforms. People don't like to learn, new things or what have you. Okay, let's just go back again to Phoenix really quickly and cover a couple other things that come up a lot. What are the maximum amount of funded accounts someone can have? Is it just one, or do you consolidate balances? And how many evaluations or challenges can someone have going on in terms of how that then leads to the most amount of SIM-funded accounts they can have?
Well, you can have 5 SIM-funded accounts. About the live accounts, a bit different. I will go back to that later. About the number of challenge, we don't do any limit on that. So theoretically, you can have unlimited challenges. Of course, it's don't do that, but you can. But at one time, you have 5 funded accounts that can run simultaneously. Okay.
So 5 funded. That could transfer to, as we discussed earlier, once you move to live, there's rules for when after 4 payouts, you're going to be taken. Can you speak a little bit about what you're seeing? Are you consolidating balances or how is it kind of working? I know we don't need to get into this too much because people are really, really into this. And unfortunately, because most people are doing these programs wrong, not a lot of you get to that stage and you don't stay there when you get there. But that being said, are you consolidating balances into a single live account, or can people have multiple sub accounts live?
So that depends. For example, if you copied all of your 5 accounts and reaches the live funded stage at the same time, we will leave you the choice. Meaning that some people, for psychology purposes, prefer to have 5 smaller accounts, or at the opposite, a big single consolidated one. So both of them are completely possible. So we leave you the choice. And if you didn't copy your accounts and like the first live account, the first funded account, which is the 4th payout, the others didn't, then the other funded accounts will be placed in a dormant state until you lose your live account. And if you do lose your live account, then the other SIM funded will be re-enabled till you either go with them to live or lose them.
Okay. Now let's just switch gears and just talk a little bit about, you had mentioned before, you're French, your company is based in France. You have gone through all the hoops and hurdles required to operate in a highly regulated market for financial services. Can you tell us a little bit about your customer mix in terms of US versus Europe? I would imagine you're appealing to European customers. And I ask that specifically because there's some new firms that have come out that can't serve customers in Europe. So you could be a fantastic alternative to that as an actual path to live trading for people that are in France and Spain and Germany and Italy and that in those areas, right?
That's correct. About our mix of customers, I would say it's kind of the wrong idea that we are mainly European based because the majority of our clients are actually Americans. We also have a lot of Brazilian traders, South America. And I'd say Europeans, including French, which is, again, very paradoxal. They account for 20-25% of all clients, but not more than that. So, maybe that will change with what you just said, the recent films that just cannot serve European traders. But in the meantime, the customer mix is pretty American based.
Okay. By the way, I just decided to cut back to this screen here because while we were talking, I have Thor running, and you guys bring up a real-time event notification, which is super cool. And I found that also it will tell you if any of these event notifications are something that you should be aware of relative to your Phoenix account, right? That's a neat feature of Thor. So.
Yeah. Actually, I have it too, so I have to upgrade my screen.
So it came up for you as well. So for those that are interested, Jackson Hole is starting soon. The Jackson Hole where they go out to Wyoming and talk about finances and things like that. All right. One last question on sort of because I haven't gone through here on all the pricing and things. Do you offer any kind of bundles or promotions like that where people could buy multiple accounts at the same time? Or maybe you can talk a little bit about what you've seen in terms of promotions and offers that are effective and when you run them. And I'm not asking for specifics on a discount or anything like that, but a little bit about how you've priced these in terms of people buying more than one at a time. Is that a thing?
Is that a thing? I'll be honest. So far, we never did a bundle account thing. In terms of general discounts, that is a part that didn't really change since our last interview. We just do not do the -80% and -90% discounts that Apex or other firms may do, because I still think that that's not the way I picture. That's not something I want to do. That's not the way the accounts were designed for. 80% discount just will not work with our accounts. So the best discount I'd say are ranging between 20 to 30, 35. On some occasions, we go to 40 on very, very rare occasions. The discount percentages also really depends on the account size. For example, with the classic starter, so the smallest classic, with the discounts, you can get it to below $70. So below $70 all in. So no activation fees. That's also something. On all accounts, there is no activation fees, no matter the size category. And if you go to bigger accounts, then the discount percentages also are getting bigger.
Okay. So again, it's important, folks. No activation fees, the ability to take payouts much quicker and at lower dollar denomination. I think that also affects the max amount of payouts. But you said the vast majority of traders just want to get to the point where they're cash flowing a little bit and they have that success and that win. So don't get too caught up on, the most you can get is $1,000 or $1,500. I always find this funny, Leon. The most I can take out is $1,000 every 5 days for something I paid $90 for. That's terrible. I mean, the horror, right? I mean, so don't worry about the caps. Let's talk about the downside, the ability to take things out earlier. So that's very, very cool. Okay, let's just end it here. Again, you're the first repeat CEO that's ever come back from any of these companies. So welcome back to the channel. It's so good to see you here. And you're here because you set up the programs right from the very beginning. And now you have this additional technology and Thor and other things to come. So, congratulations on everything you've done. And I really mean that. I've been in this business a long time, and it's not easy to come in and set up these firms, especially in the futures world. So congratulations on that. Any closing thoughts or last things you'd like to share with the audience before we end our talk?
Yes. I'm always open to suggestions. Actually, the suggestions are extremely important how we came to the current models today. For example, Rod talked about his suggestion for the merit accounts, a 25% soft drawdown, soft daily drawdown. So that is something we are really considering, and that will probably come in some way or form in the near future. So if you do see the programs and find something that you find completely weird or easily upgradable, or even on Thor, if you have a feature you would like to have, honestly, a very, very large percentages of all suggestions end up to actually be integrated. So that would be my final thought.
I love it. And you can do that because you're nimble and you have a small team, and you've also set up your accounts and your customer base right. So firms like TopStep and Apex and others, they can't move very quickly. They can't take suggestions. They can't do things because they have too many accounts and they have too much legacy, right? So you're talking about working with a firm at Phoenix now that has been through it already, has established an effective business, is paying people out, understands what the marketplace looks like, is adding additional technology, and could also, like Leon just said, adapt, which is fantastic. That's what I would hope you'd want to look for in a partner. Well, Leon, thanks so much for the talk today. I think it was outstanding. Again, anybody who made it to the end, hopefully you did. I'll have an outro as well where we talk about maybe a special or an opportunity to get involved in these Phoenix accounts or Thor as well. So make sure you check the description down below for all those details. That'll be it for this one. Thanks, Leon. Appreciate it.